The Imperial-wide stigma against mutation exists for good reason. Some mutants are distorted in their physical forms, but others are as malformed in thought as they are twisted in frame. Many in their right minds grow embittered and become obsessed with taking revenge against those whose resentment and fear have caused them lifelong suffering. But that pales in comparison to those who have been corrupted in consciousness as well as in body. With their mores and moral compasses curdled into hatred and murderous rage, those most infected by the ruinous powers of chaos seek to sow destruction. It is Nurgle, the chaos god of decay, who specialises in disease, and his unnatural creatures plague the galaxy. There are many ways in which mankind might become mutated. Some catalysts of change, such as radiation poisoning, are predictable in their alterations to the human body. The mutations of chaos, however, are anything but natural and far from rational. Such transmutative energies come from warp storms, demonic possession, forbidden law, dark disease, and open worship of the ruinous powers. Those known as the Gellarpox infected bear mutations from a vile strain of demonic disease that corrupts flesh and metal. Gellarpox is a mutative malady that spreads via contamination of gellar field generators, devices that protect the ships of humanity against the horrors of the war. They are so regularly monitored and tested that even the most cautious of tech priests assume that any malfunction would be immediately discerned. The effects of the Gellarpox are slow to build, beginning with disturbing dreams and gradually escalating. Those working with and around an infector gellar field generator find themselves drawn to the device, eager to venerate its life-saving powers, willing to do anything to placate its will. Simple superstitions such as rubbing the machine's protective glyphs to ensure a safe voyage, or knocking on the machine for good luck, have a cumulative effect, wearing down the effectiveness of the protective wards and strengthening the twisted machine spirit. Eventually, the corruption grows strong enough that the voices heard in dreams become discernible in waking hours. Afflicted workers and crew are compelled to dismantle machine parts or remove symbols of warning. Mutating energy slowly escalates, warping the minds and bodies of those nearby. The victims submit willingly, still positive that the strange and debased rituals they perform upon the gellar field are to everyone's benefit. These unfortunate souls become so corrupted that they leave their humanity behind, transforming into shambling grotesques who can turn a brave man's guts to water. The bulk of the infected are known as Gellarpox mutants, their minds and bodies twisted in disturbing fashion. Some absorb more energy still, becoming hugely swollen with dark vitality, but losing their minds entirely. These are the very powerful but slavishly dim nightmare hulks. Like living tanks, the enormous mutants can withstand entire volleys of lasfire, and they are mighty enough to stand toe to toe even with an enraged Ogryn and emerge victorious. Those Gellarpox infected strong enough to hang on to their intellect and willpower whilst their bodies mutate beyond all recognition usually rise to become the masters of their kin. They are the Twisted Lords, abominable tyrants who rule over entire enclaves of degenerates. Even when slain, such leaders leave an indelible mark on the minds of the local populace. Legends of the Great Biter, the Blister Man, and the Blubberdark persist in the Ultima Segmentum, despite the laws passed against speaking of them. The transmutative power of the Gellarpox is not limited to humans or even flesh and blood. Ships whose crew have fallen victim to the disease have been discovered in varied states of mutation, with metal turned into organic tissue. The lower decks of such vessels resemble the innards of some enormous beast, and their warp engines and gellar field generators continue to pump out mutating waves of foul energies, polluting all around them. At least one such ship, the Argonaut, was last seen joining the plague fleet of Typhus, the Herald of Nurgle. Even the smallest of parasites are not spared. Such life forms are all too common aboard starships, as the long journeys and crowded living quarters are the perfect breeding conditions for a large number of tiny bloodsuckers. With the eruption of the Gellarpox, these diminutive creatures feed upon corrupted humans long enough to suffer their own maladies. Those not instantly curdled by the contaminated blood grow vast in size. Most infected warbands are joined by swarms of these crawling, flying, and bounding horrors. At the height of an outbreak, the Gellarpox virus opens a tiny rift into the warp. From this pulsating hole emerge glitchlings, demon mites, known for their joy of contaminating machinery. Although small in size and strength, the strange entrophic fields the glitchlings emanate cause guns and equipment to sporadically malfunction, robbing enemies of their chance to bring low the shambling hordes of infected before they fall upon them with horrifying and merciless fury. Since the Great Rift yawned wide across the firmament, mutation has become more rife than ever. The Gellarpox infected have been seen working in conjunction with other Chaos forces, including heretic Astartes and demon hordes. Several cults have already begun to worship the Gellarpox infected, building shrines around corrupted gellar field generators. Wherever the Gellarpox infected hordes rampage, they spread before them a wave of terror, anarchy, and destruction, and leave only mangled corpses and mutated corruption in their wake.